Aviation in Hong Kong has come a long way and passed the tests of time in history. Before Chek Lap Kok International Airport opened its doors, there was one airport in Hong Kong known for its distinctive and even frightening approach.
Hello and welcome to Trivia Time, stories and fun facts with Multi-James95. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell to get more updates on videos and contents like this, and don't forget to leave this video a like. Now what are we waiting for? Let's go and see the subject of today's video.
During Hong Kong's time as a British colony, two businessmen, Ho Kai and O Tak, formed the Kai Tak Investment Company to reclaim the land in Kowloon for development. When that plan failed, the government bought the land for use as an airfield. Construction began in 1925 on the said reclaimed land in Kowloon Bay. The area is surrounded by elements which make landing difficult: mountains, waters, and even buildings. It began as an air base and flying club, also housing an aviation school. Kai Tak also received its first international flights from Malaysia and mainland China, as well as North America, the third being operated by Pan American World Airways, or PANAM for short. When World War II broke out, the airfield fell into Japanese control, where prisoners of war were held for labor. With the end of the Second World War, the airfield was returned to British custody and plans were made to convert it to a civil airport. Soon, American Roy Farrell and Australian Sid DeCanso founded an airline which would eventually become Hong Kong's flag carrier, Cathay Pacific. With the growth of both aviation in Hong Kong, a modern runway was built in the 1950s, originally measuring to 1,664 meters or 5,459 feet, and was extended to 3,390 meters or 11,130 feet out of Victoria Harbour in 1974. This runway was oriented as 1331 and was modern Kai Tak's only usable runway, while the passenger terminal was built in 1962. With the construction of runway 1331, the infamous checkerboard approach was born. To land at this airport, you had to make an approach above Victoria Harbour and fly over the overpopulated Kowloon. There, you will spot a hill where an orange and white checkerboard is painted on a concrete pane built on its face. Seeing this hill, christened as Checkerboard Hill, this is where you will make a 45 to 46 degree turn at a speed of 200 nautical miles following a trail of flashing lights until the runway comes into sight. Finally, you will make a low flight above buildings and roads until you touch down. Kai Tak became one of the last airports in the world where pilots had to rely solely on basic flying skills, stick and rudder. Other names included Hong Kong Turn and Kai Tak Heart Attack. The second nickname was coined thanks to the passengers' fright of turning at such a close proximity to the ground. This was one of the most difficult landing approaches, most especially in bad weather. Pilot David Newberry explains that he flew to Hong Kong in awful weather, wherein a rainstorm engulfed the visibility of the runway, forcing him to make a missed approach. Kai Tak also was not spared of its share of incidents, wherein 270 lives were lost. The worst incidents took place in both 1965 and 1967, but the last incidents took place in 1993 to 1994. In the former year, China Airlines Flight 605, operated by a brand new 747-400, was making an approach in bad weather, wherein it had to overrun the runway and crashed into Victoria Harbour. Although no lives were lost, the plane was damaged beyond repair and was written off. It was turned into a firefighting trainer for firefighters based in Kai Tak and was scrapped upon the airport's closure. For 1994, a Lockheed L-100 plane crashed after takeoff, resulting in 6 fatalities. Besides aviation incidents being one reason, the overcrowding of Hong Kong became a major cause, and there was no more space to extend the runway, not even build a new one, nor construct new facilities. Extending the airport would only bring more problems, such as noise pollution and height restrictions. An 11:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. curfew was imposed, which hindered operations. Another problem was cargo. With Hong Kong being a center for trade, Kai Tak was deemed a bottleneck for this element due to its single runway. The late 1980s saw plans for a bigger and better airport that can remain open 24/7, which the government decided upon to build offshore, selecting the mountainous islands of Chek Lap Kok and Lam Chau as the new location. With the project approved, the mountains of both islands were leveled, the remains dredged, and workers put effort in filling everything with millions of tons of rock and earth to merge both islands into one. Construction of the airport began in 1991, and it had to be done before the 1997 handover of Hong Kong from the UK back to the People's Republic of China. Building the airport to offshore helped prevent noise pollutions and curfews. Another basis for this plan were the lessons learned from the violent events of Narita International Airport in Japan, known as Sanrizuka Struggle. July 5, 1998, the airport saw its last arrivals and departures. As equipment and vehicles were shipped to the new airport, many people from all walks of life, locals or expats, ages regardless, came in flocks to witness Kai Tak's final day of operation. Journalists from around the world came to Hong Kong to cover the airport's final day as a special feature. Photographers, videographers, everything. Although a Heathrow-bound Cathay Pacific 747-400 was the last commercial flight that departed at midnight, the airport's technically final flight and last departure was a Cathay Pacific A340 operating as a ferry flight to Chek-Lap Kok, which left at 1:05 a.m. With the A340's takeoff, Kai Tak was retired as an airport, transferring its IATA and ICAO codes to Chek-Lap Kok, while a closing ceremony was held at the control tower to mark Kai Tak's end of service to the world. The then incumbent Director of Civil Aviation, Richard Cycle, gave a brief speech, ending them with the words,
"Goodbye, Kai Tak, and thank you."
After which, he dimmed the lights briefly and then turned them off for good, marking the end of a chapter, as another Cathay Pacific flight from New York's JFK Airport was due to land hours later at Chek-Lap Kok. The facilities of the airport sat unused for days until the terminal was brought to life once more, acting as a shopping center and office building with several establishments and recreational facilities. The check-in halls and some parts of the departures were turned into bowling alleys, which also housed billiards, snooker, table tennis, and foosball halls. One part of the departures became an aviation school for the Hong Kong Aviation Club and the region's Air Cadet Corps, while another portion became a go-kart race hall. In the arrival section, the baggage claim became a car dealership showroom, while the well-wishers halls housed government offices and recruitment offices for various companies. The runway was used as a test drive facility for Hong Kong Driving Club and BMW's hydrogen cars, wherein fun run events took place too. The golf course was set up at the end of runway 31. Later in January 1999, the apron played host to Celine Dion's Hong Kong stop for her Let's Talk About Love tour. Between 2003 and 2004, the terminal was demolished and the airport site was redeveloped to a business park, residential areas, recreational facilities, and a cruise ship terminal. The checkerboard hill was left untouched following the airport's closure, decaying throughout time. During the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic until 2021, restoration work was done on both the west and south sides of Checkerboard Hill, wherein the checkerboard pattern was repainted to its original colors as a way to preserve Hong Kong's aviation history. On the other hand, the Regal Orienta Hotel, located across the terminal, served as Kai Tak Airport's partner hotel and was Hong Kong's first airport hotel. Opened in 1982, it was linked to the passenger terminal by a now demolished footbridge spanning across Prince Edward Road. Although it is one of the remaining buildings related to Kai Tak, the fire station at the end of runway 31 is the sole surviving original remnant of the airport. Both the hotel and fire station, along with the restored Checkerboard Hill and Kai Tak Runway Park, now act as monuments to Kai Tak Airport. Have you ever flown using Kai Tak? What was the experience like? Hello there, it's MultiJames95. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it and learned something today. And please subscribe to my channel to get more updates on content like this. If you want to support me or help me earn more, please donate to my PayPal, GCash, or even my Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. The links are there in the description. And please do watch our next video. I hope you will like it. Thank you once again and see you next time. Bye!